Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Phaedra and I live in northeast Victoria in Australia. We live on property. We've been growing cut flowers for the past 6 years. However, this year in 2025, some major things changed and it's led me to be working on some really huge landscaping projects, and that's what we're going to walk through today mainly and show you the before and afters of how much this property has changed in a year and what I've worked on in a year, which is kind of blowing my mind as well. For a little bit of context about where we live, we are in northeast Victoria in Australia. It's a very lush green area, higher than average rainfall, and even though it's the middle of summer now here in Australia, most of the country is dry and burnt off. We still have a fair bit of green, which is really lovely. So let me start by saying this year some major things happened. It started with me communicating with Floret flowers and being featured in their A Beautiful Pursuit series.
We end up homeless. We probably weren't going to end up homeless, but you know what I mean? The thing was, it was like this obsessive, like an obsessive almost compulsion or something. We have to do it, we have to keep going because we want to see the flowers.
If you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. Go and watch it. This was just a huge highlight, absolute major thing to happen. Very exciting. And then the other major thing that happened was I entered a competition with John Deere Australia, New Zealand, to become a content creator for them for 6 months. And I won the competition. I'm changing, our schedules change for everything.
Yeah. Surprise!
What?
Come and meet the new members of your
Hello.
John Deere family.
Oh, the tractor's
The tractor's
here.
here too.
Oh, I feel like I'm going to cry. So they delivered a tractor to me, a ZTrak mower, and I've been using that. I used that for 6 months, absolutely flat out, getting some of these major projects done while I had the use of their equipment. I made the most of it. Long story short, I've stayed on with them and the projects continue and the list gets longer. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. What we'll do first is I'm going to start partway down the driveway and show you the driveway project. Our driveway was so broken up and bad. There were big divots. There was areas where in the winter we couldn't drive over because it would be just too boggy. And we'd have to park the car up here somewhere and walk all the way to the house. So it meant during those months when it was really, really wet, we would put gumboots in the boot of our car so that when we had to get out and walk to the house, we had the shoes to walk in there and have umbrellas and things just in case. We had 1 year it rained for 6 to 8 weeks. I can't remember exactly, almost non-stop, and the driveway just fell apart. So this has been a project that we've been wanting to do for years. However, the quote to have it done was around the $10,000 mark. I think originally it was $6,000, and then as the years went on, it got more and more expensive. And it became such a big project. And it's sort of like when you buy a property, you don't consider how much it's going to cost you to fix the driveway or to build a driveway. And it's just one of those things that you don't want to spend your money on. It is a game changer. It's actually really nice to have it done. But it's very hard to hand that money over. $10,000 to have a driveway done when there's so many other things that you could get much more joy out of. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I worked on this with my dad. It was early in the year, so I had only just started to get my head around how to use the tractor and how to maneuver it properly. So my dad gave me some lessons and tutoring. He is like a machine operator and a very die-hard John Deere fan. So he was so happy. And we used crushed concrete. And the crushed concrete, I like it because it's this nice pale white colour. It actually looks really good in drone shots, and that was one of the considerations. Everything I do, there's always a consideration. How is this going to look from above? So that was one of the reasons for the crushed concrete. We also liked that it's a recycled material and it also compacts down really hard, and as the crushed concrete kind of goes hard, and with all the weeds and things we have in this area, we needed something that was going to suppress the weeds a little bit. So that's worked out perfect for us. She follows me around everywhere. If you haven't met our cat, this is Puska, and she found us. She turned up on my birthday one year, and I've always wanted a little cat, and I had no idea how to look after a cat, and here she is. Hi, Puss. You say hi, everyone. Can you say hello? You can see it looks really nice. This area here, we realised after we'd done the job that it's got a lot of divots and the water still pools. So I do have another pile of crushed concrete out here, and I am planning to just resurface this area. There's also a section up behind the driveway that didn't get done at all. Some of these projects, because I'm filming them for John Deere, so some of the projects were finished enough for a video, but not completely finished, and I've had to go back and complete them after filming was finished and after the video was submitted. Thought I could hear someone coming down the driveway then. I think someone's on a machine up the back. Okay, let's get into these epic projects I've been working on. You've seen the driveway. Now what I'm going to do is show you a chicken coop and talk to you a little bit about this. This is our new chicken coop, and the reason it's here is because of John Deere. They wanted to film a video here on the property, and I said, what about the chicken coop? Actually, they suggested it because this paddock here was absolutely filled with these concrete planter boxes, and they are so heavy. We had tried in the past to lift them out, but they just, human power alone, you couldn't do it. So with the tractor, I always thought, okay, good, I'm going to get this done before I have to hand this tractor back. And then John Deere were like, well, why don't we do that as the project? Because they come and film a project on the property, and it took 2 days. They're like, oh, why don't we get this done? And oh my gosh, it was the biggest job. And Vaughan, he's a radio presenter over in New Zealand. He also works for John Deere. He came over, so he was part of the video, and the poor guy just busted himself for 2 days to help us get this concrete out. I wasn't even sure it was going to happen. Thankfully, I had already built this chicken coop. I'd flat packed it. I am doing a video on this. It's just, this is one of those projects that we had to rush to get to a point where we could finish filming. We had to get this all done in 2 days. So John Deere had all their footage and they could create the video, and you can see that over on their YouTube. You can see the full video over on their YouTube. I will leave links for everything in the description. So you can just go there at the end of the video and click on the things that you wanted to check out after this video. Amazing that this project got done, and I've now got a chicken coop. I'm doing the final finishing touches at the moment. I've got to put the skirt around the bottom with the chicken wire so the foxes can't get to them. These sleepers are going to build like a little section around here that the chickens can hide under if it's hot or really bad weather when they're out in the run. And inside, she's back. She'll follow us around. She likes to show me how she can scratch everything, so that's good. The inside isn't, I've got to put a door handle on that, but there's no floor just yet. And I will just put the roosting boxes inside here. There is a section I built if we do want to put external roosting boxes at some stage. But for now, just to get it and to get the chickens in here. Oh, hi, Puss. We will just get it done. And I'm actually going to put a mesh floor on the bottom so that the chook poo and everything can fall out. And I've got is it igloo? One of those automatic doors. So keep an eye out for that video. Come on, Puss. Well, she can get out if I shut the door anyway. Are you coming? Boop, boop. Do you want to come? Come on. There's a video coming. So just stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and you'll see when that pops up. But that is the chicken coop video. And this is some of the leftover mess from it. And this structure here, where is it? This structure here is going to be a miniature goat, what would we call it? Pen? A miniature goat pen. my daughter's building it because she is absolutely dead set on getting some miniature goats. So we're turning into a true hobby farm here. It's actually really exciting. We're so excited. I've not really wanted to look after animals. Like, if I'm really, really honest, I feel like I have enough work looking after plants and kids, like keeping plants and kids alive. But yeah, anyways, we ended up with a cat that turned up and she's lovely. We're about to get chickens, real legit chickens. For the video, we borrowed our neighbour's chickens for the John Deere video. And we are about to get miniature goats. And then my other daughter wants those little miniature Highland cows. So I'm guessing at some stage there'll be a project where I'm building more fencing. You'll see fencing from today. Building more fencing with little pens and things for little Highland cows. So it's all happening. Okay, let's go for a walk out to the paddocks. I can't wait till the end to show you my most favourite project of all, but I'm going to show it to you now. I have needed a fence around our growing space. So where the cut flowers were, we had 3 huge plots of cut flowers, and for a couple of years they did fine. And I think the wallabies and the rabbits hadn't quite cottoned on that they were there. And then I think in about year 3, they just got decimated. And then we had flooding. Like it ended up being just, for a few years, the biggest struggle to grow cut flowers. Very, very difficult. Then I got burnout. I physically couldn't do it. Like, it's just been a journey, let's say. But this is the patch. And I've reworked. So plot 1 was rose. You'll see plot 2 is all rose. Plot 3 and 1, I've switched over to, I don't know, it's not rose anymore. But it is amazing. I've actually got grapevines to go and grow across these arbors. You can see some arbors up here. And I'm going to be stringing, so it's going to be a tension wire. I'll show you this arbor here, make sure you can see it before I start explaining what's happening. So there's the big arbors on the big gates, there's another one up there, and there's the little arbor here. So the plan is a tension wire between the arbors, between each one. But I'm going to let it slack down a little bit, and I'm growing ornamental grapes on it because I want it to wrap around the garden like a garland. And the gorgeous thing about ornamental grapes is in the autumn they go red, like a very, very bright, beautiful autumn red. And so I'm going to string fairy lights in amongst them. And so, like I say, 3 years is sort of the magic number for how long it takes for things to really take off. We do have a grapevine on the house, an ornamental grape, and it is in year 3. This is year 3 of it now, and it's just perfect. So year 1, it won't do much. So this season it won't do too much. It'll just probably grow up. Year 2, so next year, it should trail along and cover it. And then by year 3, it'll be absolutely magical. So I've got all these sort of magical ideas for this space. And I kind of feel like, yeah, I could just have a standard thing and make it easy for myself, but I can't. I've always got to go extra. I love looking at beautiful things. I love having spaces that you just feel so happy in. And I've got a really vivid imagination. So I get these ideas and I'm like, okay, I got to bring this to life, and I will just work my butt off until it happens. So if you're sitting back and wondering, oh, why does she have all these things? It's because of that. And I will just work relentlessly until it happens. This is the entry. I treated myself and bought a brand new gate. This was just a Bunnings gate, but I really love it. And then here is the veggie patch. And I had an idea that I wanted it all in these little blobs. And you know why I wanted blobs? Because of Hobbiton, which I've never been to. I really want to go to Hobbiton. But I saw this, I don't remember if it was a video or a photo, you can find it online, of the hobbits' veggie patches. And it's just like these meandering little things, and they've got these little paths. So that's the inspiration for this space. And I just thought once everything grows, and in future years I'll get some arbors and some big pots, and it'll just become this magical space that is a dream to be in. I feel like it already is a dream. Like, it's so pretty, and it wasn't that much work to get it to this point. So I'm so happy with it. The beans will grow on the trellis. I'm going to put another trellis over here. I've just got so many more plans for this space, but for now, it's exactly how I'm loving it. And I can't wait until the vines and things are sort of growing over the pathways. Not sure yet how to manage snakes. I don't think I can keep them out of this space anymore. I used to be able to keep them out of the garden. I had netting all around the bottom. But being in Australia and living where we live, snakes are just a part of it. So I am kind of just used to it now. As long as one doesn't bite me or get aggressive, which is not common, so we should be okay. One thing I want to say about this space is it had really good soil. I have spent the last 6 years amending the soil in plot 1 and plot 2. So the soil that was already here was really good. So it had grass in it though, like in the pathways. So what I did was I tilled the whole thing over, and then I just spent a little bit of time pulling grass out, and then started building these garden bed mounds and making the space. Then I put cardboard down in the paths and put the mulch on top. It was actually it was a bit of work, but it was so fun. I really enjoyed myself because within the space of a couple of days, I had completely transformed a space, and it was just very satisfying. Like I said, subscribe so you can follow along, because you'll see this morph into something even more amazing. As the season goes on, you will see lots of plants that you probably never realised were edible. So that's my plan here. The other goal for this area was for it to resemble a suburban backyard. So a lot of suburban backyards have about this amount of space to create their backyard food forest. And as this evolves over the years, I really want to be able to show people what you can do in a backyard, because our huge plot, which you've seen, it's massive. Most people don't have that amount of space to grow in. So I really wanted to be able to share how to grow your food and how to grow flowers in a very small space. And this is the replica of that. I feel like I'm only just getting started, which is good. I feel good about it. Okay, plot 2, it looks terrible. I'm showing you the worst angle. But this area here, it's going to be a big blueberry patch. I'm about to get in here today. I've got the tiller on the back of the tractor, and we're going to till this up. Except the last time I tried, I knocked it with the tractor, and we've had a water leak. It's been fixed. Okay, this is where the cut flowers are going to go. Well, they are. But I think what I'm leaning towards now is, and if you're interested, I can give you a different video specific tour on this plot, because I've got a lot of the flowers to the point where they just self-sow. And that's the plan moving forward, to have the cut flower garden self-sow itself. I don't want to be planting so many seeds and plants anymore. So that's the plan. If you're interested in seeing that video where I walk you through that and show you everything, let me know and I will do it for you. But in the meantime, I think the future plan for this garden is to have huge areas. So you know how I've got the little tiny blobs here? This would be huge. Like maybe it will have 4 blobs. So rather than very, uniform and formal looking, they will be less formal. And then we'll just have these rambling flower gardens. So that's the plan here. And then plot 3, I've been tilling this a lot. 2 tunnels are going in here. And then I've got my corn, potatoes, some pumpkins and things here. And this section up the back is going to be raspberry. I need to get in here and weed it and get on top of it. I probably need a good day to get that fixed up. To be amending soil for this section and where the blueberries are going for the rest of the season, and I'll put those plants in autumn or late autumn, maybe even in winter. We'll see how we go. Anyway, back to the fence. So the fence goes around, it's treated pine poles all the way around, and my daughter built me this beautiful beautiful gate. It's just old pallet wood, and she did an amazing job. So she's 14. I've got a few more things to do. So we are putting rails across the top and the bottom. It's another expensive venture though. It's going to cost me about, I think it was $750 to get that done. So we're holding off until we recover from Christmas. And also I recover from the big job that it was doing this fencing. I'm happy with it right now. I'm just not at the point where I have the energy to spend another 6 days putting those rails on, because it's going to be another big job. But they look really good, and I've got a video up, it's already up, and I show you how I attach the fencing. And it's done this way. This one's loose because this other side hasn't been done. It's done in a way that I can adjust it if I need to, which is easy. And if an animal jumps through and tries to break it, I can repair it. Very versatile fence. So happy with it. But this wasn't the biggest project actually. I'm about to show you the biggest project. But this was a major project that I kind of procrastinated for a long time, because I knew once I started it, it was just going to take, it almost broke me. Like I got to the end of it. The thing that broke me was I got to the end of it and realized I just did this whole fence by myself. The only help I got was lifting the arbor tops up above the gates, because it's a bit dangerous doing that myself if I dropped it on my head or something. But I think it kind of broke me a little bit. Like, it's amazing that I was able to do it by myself, but it really sucked that I had to do it by myself, because everybody else is busy. But I am proud of myself, and I'm so happy with it now. Like, if you're a woman and you want to get something done, go and do it. Like, we can literally do anything. We are way stronger than what we think we are, way more capable, and we can do it. Like, look at the things I've achieved. I'm about to show you something else. It's just blowing my mind that I've done. Let me show you. And if this doesn't tell you you can do whatever you want, I don't know what will. And hi! That's my neighbour Pat. Best neighbours. We've got the best neighbours. I know it does not look so good right now, but I'm going to show you how it did look. So this is the oval. And I have been out here picking up rocks. I will show you how many rocks. On my hands and knees, it has been an 8-hour job picking up all the rocks off this oval. And I'm still not finished. You can see there's still rocks, but this is so much better than what it was. It looked a bit more like this with those really big rocks. This section actually isn't too bad. But, oh my goodness, it was just the biggest project. It has taken me, this has been nearly a year, because this paddock was absolutely run down. And this is the area that I learned how to use the tractor. So when I first got the tractor, this was the first thing I started working on, because I figured I'm just pushing dirt around. And I pushed dirt around for months, day and night. Oh, and it's been dusty. Like, the whole time it's been dusty. We didn't even have much rain over winter. It's still been dusty. Anyway, I got on it again this week because we planted ryegrass. And I needed that so I could get some final shots for a John Deere video. But it now turns out I may have a little bit of extra time to get the real grass in, which is going to be kikuyu, which is what we have in the house yard. So I've tilled it over and we're about to sow that seed and start watering it like crazy. It's going to be hot today though. It's going to be 35 degrees Celsius today. It's not the best time. Kikuyu will germinate at higher temps though, but that ground is really hot. When I was on it yesterday, my hands were getting hot. Like, think of hot beach sand. That's what it felt like. This job hasn't broken me, but I'm really sick of it. It's taken me so long. It's going to be amazing though, like to have, I'll show you the nice grass we've got at the house yard, but to have that beautiful lush grass patch out here is going to be so nice. And I know that kikuyu is very invasive, and every time I find it in the patch, I am very annoyed about it. But the thing is, in our climate, it's the best grass. It goes all year. If it dies off in summer, it'll just bounce back as soon as it gets watered again. The good thing about invasive grass is you can't kill it. And it's going to make the most beautiful patch to play sports and stuff on. It's going to be really good. I can't wait. And my daughter plays footy. So, you know, I have these ideas that she'd invite her footy team over. It's not a full-size oval. This is 750 50 square metres. But we've got a fire pit area. I'll show you that. Oh, that's embarrassing at the moment, but I'll show you that. But I just have this idea that she'll have her team over and they'll have, you know, eat around the campfire and then play some footy, like a little silly game on our little oval. I don't know. Like, it could be really fun. And some people from church have seen it and they've already got ideas. They're like, oh, we can bring the youth out. Oh no, I just found Patterson Curse. Depending on what country you're in, this is Patterson's Curse, and in Australia at least it is very invasive, and we haven't seen it on our property for years, but apparently this has been a very good year for it. So every time I see it, I've got to pop it out, so I'll come back later and get that out with a shovel. It's a very pretty plant, but we can't have that taking over. So we have a lot of invasive weeds and a lot of really bad ones. So what we do is, if we can't get on top of it, we cut the heads off so the seeds can't develop. Like, that's our strategy. Oh, are you ready to see the fire pit? Let me first put some footage in of how it looked when we finished it. It was absolutely stunning. Winter ended, the weeds took off, and we were so busy trying to keep on top of everything everywhere else, this got completely neglected. Because in summer we have fire bans, we can't use fire pits or anything, no open flames. So we haven't used the area, and look what's happened. Oh my goodness, friends, look at this, it's so bad. And we don't use sprays or chemicals, so this is now quite a big job to get rid of. But I'll get this done in 1 or 2 mornings. I'll pop out here, get all the seeds out. I am going to lay cardboard down like I've done everywhere else and put mulch on top. And then in here, this is a bit trickier because this is buckshot and it's been compacted and the weeds have come up through it. And this, I think this stuff here, this is another weed that's a problem. It's got, let me show you, these horrible root system that looks like this. That's some of the root system. And I pull it out of the ground, I chuck it so it can die, but it's everywhere. So yes, massive shame that I let this run to ruins. However, we just have so much going on and so many things to get done, and I'm on a schedule to have videos going, and sometimes I just got to get the thing done and move on to the next project. The good thing is it won't take me too long to fix this up. It'll be beautiful again by winter, and we'll be out here cooking our food and sitting around. Like, it is so nice to sit around with your family, and that whole thing was built in an afternoon. I mean, the retaining wall on the other side was already there, so the kind of bare bones were there, but then the rest was just set up in an afternoon, and it was amazing. Made us really happy. So it's a beautiful space. Driving the tractor over everything, it's kind of what would you say, like compacted the ground and worn out, like, because in the winter it was mud, so I've kind of wrecked where all the grass was, and of course now the weeds are coming up. I was hoping it would all grow back nice and green in spring, but we had a really dry spring, so it hasn't. But maybe in autumn that might all green up and look nice. We'll have our oval, which will be beautiful. I might have the fence finished. I do plan to grow normal edible grapes along the top of the fence. So we'll have the like swales, what do you want to call them? I don't know, along the top, and then edible ones along the bottom. Here's another little thing we did. The trees, so they are around the edge of the oval, and that helps point out the oval shape. And these are ornamental pears. Another little job here. Oh, these are the rocks. These are the rocks that I've been pulling off the oval. There's just thousands of them. So I've put them here because the grasses that grow here are not too bad. And we are going to put native garden all in here. And that'll just, well, I don't know, we'll somehow turn the rocks into a feature or something. But there will be a pathway that's coming through here, and it walks around the back towards a birch forest, birch grove. I don't know what we call it, but I forgot. and they are in baby mode because I'm babying them through the heat. So they're all in there. But we've also got part of a walking track goes up behind, and the walking track is going, this is one of the projects for this contract with John Deere, goes up all the way around the back and around the property. So if we want to go for a walk, we don't even have to leave our property. We just go for a nice walk around our property. And we all love going for walks. So for our family, it's going to be perfect. I'm just watching where I'm walking because of snakes. But this is the birch trees. We have lost 3 of them, but the rest are doing quite well. I've mulched them all. I've also got these buckets on it. You poke a hole and then they just slow drip in to try and keep it moist. There is one little one here that I look like I'm about to lose. See the back of the oval here, the veggie patch over there. We really have been transforming this property this year. And this year was supposed to be, like at the end of last year, end of 2024, I said, okay, and I think I even said it in a video, I'm going to be finishing off the renovation projects in the house this year. I was going to work relentlessly on that for the whole year, get them all finalised and finished up. And I'd sort of said to everybody, so you might see little bits and pieces of the reno. Let me know if you want to film it, if you want me to film it. Then I won the tractor and everything changed, which changed for the better. Like, I'm really so stoked. But all that time that I put aside to finishing the reno on the house has now come onto the property. But it's nice. Like, the goal is to get our property to a point where it's easy to maintain. And at this point, mowing the lawns is quite easy. I mean, the ZTrak makes it so fast. We can do this whole property in about an hour, including out in the paddock. It's unbelievable. So the mowing's actually become really easy because we've smoothed the ground out in sections, trying to minimise the amount of edging that we have to do or to make it easier to edge. So that's been really good. And then all these other little things that we're trying to make it a bit easier. Like, we have put irrigation in, but it's all under the ground, you can't see it. But having the tractor, I dug trenches out for that. It's still a work in progress, the irrigation. We're still working on that. We need to get another tank to run off the other dam. So it has been absolutely amazing. I mean, my list keeps growing. I could probably do projects for the next 10 years. I'm on the grass, let me show you. This is how beautiful kikuyu is. It is so invasive, but look at it, isn't it beautiful? And that will be the grass out on the oval. It probably won't get this lush this season. This will take a few years for it to thicken up like that, but it will be green enough to use probably by winter. And then in winter it greens up really nice. We have irrigation on it so we can water it. Oh, hi puss. These planter boxes, I've put Calibracoa in them, and I'm hoping it'll just grow up really big and spill over. And there's a few Cosmos volunteers, which is good. But that is just another little mini project that I did. This is the pile of crushed concrete I need to work on, and up around the back I need to do that as well. Let me show you these grapes on the house. Excuse the mess on the veranda. I've been getting rid of things in the house. I think I'm becoming a minimalist. But you can see those grapes, and they go bright red in the autumn. It's beautiful. Another project, this grass is very uneven. We had bad flooding one year, and we had to dig temporary drains to drain it away from the house. So what I'm doing is I'm just slowly, gently sloping, and then it'll go back up. So if the water comes down, it'll just flow into that little light dip and go around the side of the house. Sort of similar to how I did here. But it won't be this is a very exaggerated bump. It's almost a dam here. Like, it really goes down. It won't be that severe. Another project I forgot to show you. We'll walk back out to the paddock. This was a major one, and I'm very thankful to John Deere. They were the ones that suggested it. I didn't want to do it, but I'm so grateful that they just said, nah, do that as a project. Because this is one of the things that enabled us to put that fencing on the paddock. We had a massive concrete pile behind where the veggie patch now is, like behind the fencing, and we couldn't get the fencing in behind. So one of the hold-ups on doing the fencing was, how am I going to maneuver the fencing around the concrete pile? Because the concrete pile, before we got the tractor, was one of those things that was just beyond our capabilities. Like, we can't move all this concrete by hand, and it costs a lot of money to remove it too, like with the trucks that came in. But let me show you, because getting rid of that meant that we could now fit the fencing in at the back, and that was sort of one of the catalysts, major catalysts, to move forward on this fencing project. Okay, so back here, the concrete pile basically took up this whole space in here. So it backed onto the back of that row, and it pretty much just covered this whole area. It was just like this ugly hill. And as you can see, it was the space we needed for this veggie patch, because it's given us, like, we've got a big gate here to get a vehicle in, a big drive that goes down to that arbor and out, or you can go down this arbor and back out. Just completely changed the landscape to get rid of that. And then of course we've done lots of smoothing, like I said, to try to get things mowable. You know, like around here, the grass will grow back, we'll be able to mow it here. I've got a little bit more work to do. The junk is everywhere, I've got to clean up. But this all got smoothed out so that we can mow it. I had an old veggie patch area at the back of the house that we took all the raised veggie beds out, but it was just kind of a mess. It was like lumps of dirt, so I've smoothed all that out. This grass patch here is now beautiful and smooth. We can see Pat over the back there. So over here towards Pat, I won't film out there actually because Pat doesn't know he's on camera at the minute, the flower meadow, and that was probably our last, at this point, big project that we did. It was a very long range project, and it was just absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Would walk out there and look at it all the time. Pat and Rose would be out there, the neighbours, looking at it and walking through it. Like, we just enjoyed it so much. And it was cute because it was kind of tucked away. Like, it was really only like our family and their family that saw it, other than what I've filmed and shown online. Just one of the happiest places. We took lots of photos. It's now at the point where it'll just self-seed, and I'll till it in again, and we will have it for next year as well. Like, that was a beautiful project, a really beautiful project. So moving forward, this next year, 2026, I'll be working on more projects. So follow along if you're interested. I am continuing to work with John Deere. I mean, I would work with them forever, I think. Who do I have to chain myself to make that happen? Just joking. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if I can work with them forever. Putting it out there, like, there's a couple of brands I would like to work with, not specific brands, but you know, like, I'd love to work with a SunSmart brand, like a long-term partnership. A SunSmart brand, like a tank. We've got a big project for a tank. That would be a cool collaboration. We actually want to go off-grid solar. I probably need a bigger channel before I go chasing that. But I just feel like it would be like this what started out as a flower farm is now, I think, turning into something that's more self-sufficient and I don't know, like crazy project based maybe. I don't know. I'll always grow flowers. It's just going to look different the way I do it. I think I'm done with growing them in rows. Yeah, I think I'm done growing them in rows. I think and you know, something I did love, because I haven't been cutting them the last few years for the florist work because we shut down the florist business. I love looking at the flowers. Like, it kind of sucked putting all that effort into growing flowers and then just cutting them off all the time. So I really, really enjoy looking at the flowers, and that's kind of what I want to do. That's why I love that idea of them just sowing themselves where they want to sow. Like, for instance, these zinnias, they're the Floret golden morning, no, the Floret, the morning one. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. They're just self-sowing themselves and they look amazing. It's such a thick thing, and it's such a thick planting of zinnias, which, you know, maybe I should have thinned them out, but at the same time, it's sort of like, let's just see what nature does on its own. So I love that. So yeah, 2026, continue what I'm doing, basically. I'm not really into trends, so I guess a lot of the growth I'm not seeing on my channel is because I don't get into the whole trend thing. I think trends just don't last. You just constantly end up chasing the next trend, and I just don't want to get into that. I don't love it. It's not me. It never was. Even when I was in high school, I was never into, you know, clothing brand trends or anything. I just did my own thing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my own thing. Yes, continue to grow flowers, growing food, doing these big landscape projects. I do need to get onto the renovation stuff. The kitchen's been half pulled apart for the whole year, so that's getting worked on now. But yeah, other than that, follow along. Make sure you subscribe, and wishing you all the very best into this new year, whether you make resolutions or what. Mine are not so much. I've got a couple of goals, but I actually just want to enjoy life. Like, whatever I'm doing, do it with intention. Find things to love about it. Be grateful, be thankful, and be okay when things are moving slowly. That's sort of what I'm doing moving forward. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.